For absolute value inequalities, there are two different situations. There are absolute value inequalities where you have greater thans. Same thing as this. Doesn't matter if I write that there. It has no effect. It's a greater than problem. And you have absolute value less thans. Two situations. The greater thans indicate the word or, and the less thans indicate the word and. Once again, we did cover this topic. I think it was the last day before we went out. Once you determine which they are, you write exactly what it says, doesn't change. You write the word or, and then change both of these. So it went from greater than to less than, and it went from 9 to negative 9. Actually, greater than or equal to less than or equal to 9 to negative 9. And then you solve both of these. This gives you that situation. It's under this. It's like slime or something on my table. Awesome. And also that situation. So you have x is greater than or equal to 3. Or x could be less than or equal to negative 3. And it produces this range of numbers that are bigger than something, in this case 3, or less than something, and in this case negative 3. The examples aren't always that short. In other words, that was only a 3x. So it was just a one-step problem. The other one, this and problem, it's not going to produce something like this. It'll produce two endpoints with the range in between. So let's do that problem. And we're going to solve it exactly the same way. We're going to write what it says, and now we're going to write the word and. We're going to write what it says and change both these things again. They both change. Put two little stars. So we solve it. Add 1. Add 1. So it produces the fact that x has to be less than 7. And it also has to be bigger than or equal to 5. So that's the solution for that. Just like the absolute value equations, you can't solve these problems if the absolute value is not isolated. Let's throw a negative in here. And let's go with that. Don't panic that there's a negative in there. We're still going to treat it with the same steps we treated it with before. So the absolute value is not isolated. We're not going to set up an and or an or until it's isolated. So I'm going to divide by 2. I'll leave that there. Never distribute this. No distribute. No, don't do that. Divide by 2. Get rid of it. 2 was being multiplied by the absolute value. Therefore, to get rid of it, we'll divide it by 2. And we have to divide the 12 by 2 as well. Now that the absolute value is isolated, you can see it's a less than problem. So let's write exactly what it says. And that. So that gives me that. Just make sure I'm not doing any of my math wrong. Oh, and this one has a little bit of a wrinkle, because if you remember when we did inequalities before, when you divide by a negative, that guy reverses direction. So the solution to this is x is either bigger than negative 3/4, not either, sorry. X is bigger than negative 3/4, and less than 9/4. Bigger than -3/4. And less than 9/4. Let me know if you have any questions.